Trait number 36, intensity in love. Aries are known for their deep commitment in love. When they fall hard. For them, love is not a passing affair, it's an all-consuming, passionate experience. When Aries chooses a partner, they're in it for the long haul, with all their heart. This deep intensity in love often means they have high expectations from their partners. They seek relationships that inspire them to grow and challenge them to become better versions of themselves. Personal insight. An Aries friend of mine once told me, "If I'm not 100% invested, what's the point?" I realized just how true that was when she entered a relationship. She put everything into it, supporting, encouraging, and demanding the same from her partner. While it may seem intense to some, this level of commitment is what makes Aries such devoted lovers. Trait number 35, natural leaders. Another standout feature of Aries is their natural leadership. They possess a magnetic energy that draws people to them, making them the go-to person in times of crisis. Aries doesn't wait for opportunities to come to them, they create them. Their self-confidence and proactive nature make them great leaders in both personal and professional settings. Example: I once worked with an Aries on a team project, and even though he wasn't the official leader, he naturally took charge. His energy and confidence rallied the team, and we found ourselves working harder than ever. He didn't just lead by authority, but by example. That's the type of leadership Aries brings, unwavering and inspiring. Trait number 34, honesty and transparency. Aries values honesty above all. They're straightforward and transparent in their communication, even when the truth is uncomfortable. For Aries, there's no room for games or pretenses. If something's on their mind, you'll know it. They believe that authenticity is the foundation of any meaningful relationship, and they won't settle for anything less. Personal insight. I had an Aries colleague who, whenever something went wrong in the office, was the first to speak up. While some people might hesitate or sugarcoat things, she would just come out and say, "This is what went wrong, and here's how we fix it." I admired that so much because it created an atmosphere of trust and openness. Trait number 33, fierce defenders. Aries is known for their fierce protection of what they love. Whether it's their friends, family, or beliefs, they will fight tooth and nail to defend what they care about. This trait makes them incredibly loyal companions and passionate advocates for their values. However, their intensity can sometimes lead them to moments of distraction, where they may miss key details or overlook other priorities. Example: one of the most memorable moments with an Aries friend was when they defended a mutual friend against unfair criticism. Without hesitation, they stepped in, spoke their mind, and didn't care about the consequences. It was inspiring to see how they'd stand up for what was right, even if it meant facing opposition. Trait number 32, sensitivity beneath the surface. Beneath that tough exterior, Aries have a surprisingly sensitive side. They might appear fearless and confident, but when betrayed or hurt by those close to them, they feel it deeply. It can be difficult for them to process emotional wounds, especially when inflicted by loved ones. Aries must learn to balance their courage with emotional healing and forgiveness. Personal story. I remember an Aries friend who had a falling out with a close friend. Even though she appeared strong and moved on quickly, I could tell it was eating her up inside. It took her a long time to talk about it, but when she did, she shared how deeply it hurt her. This showed me that while Aries may seem invincible, they also have a soft spot that needs attention and care. Trait number 31, fearless determination. Fearlessness is at the heart of every Aries. They don't shy away from challenges, they run toward them. Whether it's a career goal, a personal ambition, or a challenge in their relationships, Aries faces it head-on with unyielding resolve. Giving up is simply not in their vocabulary. Example: I've seen Aries tackle challenges in ways that would make others hesitate. When an Aries colleague took on a project that everyone else had backed away from, I watched them methodically break it down, never once doubting their ability to succeed. It was inspiring to see someone face obstacles with such confidence. Trait number 30, possessiveness in relationships. Aries loyalty can sometimes cross into possessiveness. They value loyalty so deeply that they can become protective, especially in relationships. This desire to own their connection with someone can sometimes lead to jealousy or overprotection. Aries must learn to balance their need for loyalty with respect for their partner's independence. Personal insight. I've noticed this in Aries friends who, when in relationships, can become a bit territorial. It's not that they're controlling, they just want to make sure they're getting the commitment they're giving. However, as they mature, many Aries learn how to handle this possessiveness with more patience and understanding. Trait number 29, emotional coldness at times. While Aries is generally full of energy and warmth, there are moments when they can seem emotionally detached. This is usually when they become overly focused on their goals, leaving little room for others' emotions. It's not that they don't care, it's just that they sometimes lose sight of the emotional nuances in their interactions. Example: I had an Aries friend who, during a particularly busy period in their life, seemed distant. They were so focused on achieving their goals that they unintentionally ignored the emotional needs of those around them. It wasn't because they didn't care, it's just that their drive sometimes clouded their emotional sensitivity. Trait number 28, wholehearted commitment. Aries approaches life with total commitment. They don't do things halfway, whether it's a job, a relationship, or a personal project. Aries pours their heart and soul into everything they do. Mediocrity is simply not in their vocabulary. If they're in 100%. Personal insight. Aries taught me what it means to fully dedicate yourself to something. I remember when a project we were working on was lagging, and my Aries friend stepped in with such intensity that we all followed suit. Her passion pushed us all to give our best, and we achieved something we didn't think was possible. Trait number 27, attention to detail in relationships. Aries doesn't just love deeply, they show it through the small details. Whether it's remembering their partner's favorite food or surprising them with a thoughtful gesture, Aries' attention to the little things is one of the many ways they strengthen their emotional bonds. They want their loved ones to feel truly appreciated and cherished. Example: an Aries friend of mine always goes out of their way to make people feel special. Whether it's a surprise gift or a spontaneous gesture, they never fail to impress with their thoughtfulness. I've learned that for Aries, love isn't just about grand gestures, it's about paying attention to what truly matters. Conclusion: Aries is undoubtedly one of the most dynamic, passionate, and powerful signs of the zodiac. Whether it's their unwavering loyalty, their relentless determination, or their heartfelt commitment to everything they love, Aries is a force to be reckoned with. They may not always be understood by others, but their energy and authenticity shine through, making them incredible partners, friends, and leaders. Key takeaway: the real lesson here is that Aries teaches us how to live with passion and authenticity. They remind us to never back down from a challenge, to protect those we love, and to commit to everything we do wholeheartedly. So whether you're an Aries or you know one, remember that the key to success and happiness lies in staying true to yourself and those who matter most. Trait number 26, selectiveness in love. Aries are selective when it comes to relationships. They don't rush into love. Instead, they take their time to carefully consider whether someone aligns with their values and goals. This isn't about being distant or cold. It's about Aries' deep desire for authenticity and meaningful connections. They won't settle for anything less than a relationship that challenges them and helps them grow. Personal insight. I've noticed that Aries tend to wait for the right person to come along, rather than rushing into relationships. I once had an Aries friend who dated several people, but none of them lasted. She wasn't looking for just someone to pass the time with. She was searching for a deep emotional connection. It wasn't about the surface-level romance for her. She wanted a partner who would inspire and challenge her. Trait number 25, passionate lovers. Aries is known for their fiery passion, and when it comes to love, they are intense. For them, a kiss is not just a kiss, it's a declaration of their feelings. Every interaction is full of energy, desire, and purpose. Aries loves deeply, and they express that love without hesitation, whether it's in private or public. Example: I've seen Aries in relationships, and they're the type to never hold back their affection. One friend, in particular, always made sure to show how much she cared for her partner, through small surprises, heartfelt messages, and passionate moments. When Aries loves, it's a full-on commitment of mind, body, and soul. It's one of the things that makes them such magnetic and exciting partners. Trait number 24, brutal honesty in relationships. Honesty is key for Aries, especially when it comes to their romantic relationships. They're not interested in playing games or hiding their true feelings. If something's bothering them, they'll say it outright, no sugarcoating. This directness can sometimes come off as blunt, but it comes from a place of wanting to maintain clarity and transparency. Personal insight. An Aries I once dated didn't hesitate to tell me when something wasn't right. There were times when I might have danced around the issue, but they didn't let things fester. They wanted clarity and resolution immediately. While it could be intimidating at first, I learned to appreciate this approach because it meant there were no misunderstandings, no hidden agendas. Trait number 23, positivity and optimism. Aries has an infectious positivity that can light up any room. No matter the challenges, they always look for the silver lining and believe in their ability to overcome anything. This optimism is not naive. It's a deep-rooted belief in their own strength and the power of a positive mindset. Example: during a tough time in my life, I called an Aries friend for advice. I was overwhelmed, and I expected a sympathetic ear, but instead, I got a pep talk. She reminded me that challenges are just temporary and that I had everything I needed to move forward. At first, I was taken aback by her upbeat attitude, but soon I realized that her optimism was just what I needed. It's this kind of positivity that Aries brings to the table. It's uplifting and motivating. Trait number 22, compassionate and empathetic. Despite their fiery nature, Aries are incredibly compassionate. They may not always show it in the traditional way, but they have a deep empathy for others. When someone they care about is struggling, Aries will step up to provide support. This empathy is what makes them such loyal friends and partners. Personal insight. One of the most surprising things about my Aries friend was how empathetic she was. She always seemed to know when someone was having a hard time, even if they weren't speaking about it. I once saw her drop everything to comfort a friend who was going through a tough breakup. That selflessness is a side of Aries that many people don't expect, but it's a big part of their emotional depth. Trait number 21, impulsive nature. Aries is known for their impulsiveness. They're not the type to sit around and wait for things to happen. They make things happen. This spontaneous nature can sometimes lead them to make rash decisions, but it's also what allows them to seize opportunities and take risks that others might shy away from. Example: I remember an Aries friend who impulsively booked a trip to Paris just a day before departure. There was no planning, no hesitation, just pure excitement to go. Of course, the trip turned out to be an unforgettable adventure. This is the kind of impulsiveness that drives Aries. It's what makes them dynamic and unafraid to dive into new experiences, even if they don't have everything figured out. Trait number 20, trust and vulnerability. Aries doesn't easily trust others, but once they do, it's a big deal. Trust is a sacred bond for them, and they only reveal their true selves to those they feel completely comfortable with. When Aries trusts someone, they share their deepest secrets, knowing that they are vulnerable in that moment. Personal insight. I had to earn the trust of an Aries friend before she shared anything personal with me. At first, she kept things to herself, but over time, she gradually opened up. When she finally shared something very personal, I knew it was because she trusted me completely. For Aries, trust is hard-won but deeply cherished once established. Trait number 19, determined in romance. Aries women, in particular, are known for their relentless pursuit of love. They're not afraid to make the first move and go after what they want. Their determination in love is matched only by their passion, making them exciting and dynamic partners. Example: I had an Aries friend who was very clear about what she wanted in a partner. When she met someone she liked, she wasn't shy about showing her interest. She took the initiative, expressed her feelings, and didn't wait around for anyone else to make the first move. Her confidence and drive are what make Aries women stand out. They know what they want, and they go after it. Trait number 18, intolerance for opposing views. Aries tends to be very set in their ways and can sometimes struggle with opposing opinions. They are passionate about their beliefs and can become frustrated if others challenge them. However, this doesn't mean Aries isn't open to change. It's just that they're highly confident in their own perspectives. Personal insight. I've had conversations with Aries that turned into debates, and it was clear they didn't want to back down. While their conviction is admirable, I've also learned that Aries can benefit from embracing different viewpoints. It's part of their growth. Learning to see things from other perspectives can enhance their understanding of the world around them. Trait number 17, honesty and criticism. While Aries value honesty, they also have a unique sensitivity to how criticism is delivered. They prefer constructive feedback, and when criticism is given with respect and care, they are more receptive. They appreciate when others acknowledge their efforts and provide thoughtful, not harsh, criticism. Example: I remember an Aries colleague who received feedback on a project we worked on together. The feedback was straightforward but constructive, and she appreciated it because it was delivered with respect. However, when someone gave her criticism in a blunt and rude manner, she felt hurt. Aries values honesty, but they also want to feel respected in the process. Trait number 16, love for cooking and creativity. Aries are natural creators, and this extends to their love of cooking. For them, the kitchen is a place to express their creativity. They enjoy experimenting with new recipes and ingredients, and they take pride in creating delicious meals for others. Cooking isn't just a task, it's an art form and a way to connect with loved ones. Personal insight. I once attended a dinner at an Aries friend's house, and let me tell you, the meal was nothing short of spectacular. She had crafted an elaborate menu, experimenting with new ingredients and flavors. The joy she felt in cooking and sharing that experience with us made it clear, Aries don't just cook for sustenance, they cook to create memorable moments. Trait number 15. Passionate in intimacy. Aries is a passionate lover, and when it comes to intimacy, they don't hold back. Whether in romantic relationships or more casual encounters, Aries approaches intimacy with energy, intensity, and enthusiasm. For them, physical connection is not just about pleasure, it's a way of expressing deep emotional bonds. Example. I've observed how Aries expresses affection in their relationships. One Aries friend of mine, when in love, would often surprise their partner with spontaneous romantic gestures, whether it was a heartfelt note, a passionate kiss, or an unexpected dinner. They never took intimacy for granted, and always used it as an expression of their commitment and love. Trait number 14. Transparent in relationships. Aries individuals value transparency, especially in relationships. They don't like playing games, and they certainly don't tolerate dishonesty. For Aries, the foundation of any relationship is built on clarity, openness, and the willingness to be vulnerable. If something feels off, they'll address it directly, ensuring there are no secrets or misunderstandings. Personal insight. When I was in a relationship with an Aries, I quickly learned that if I had an issue or felt uncomfortable about something, I needed to address it head-on. Avoiding difficult conversations was not an option. It taught me how much Aries values honesty, and how necessary it is for them to maintain transparency to feel secure in any connection. Trait number 13. Quick to fall in love. Aries is known for falling in love quickly and intensely. They don't waste time analyzing or second-guessing their emotions. They dive in headfirst, feeling deeply and passionately from the start. This rapid intensity can sometimes be overwhelming, but it's what makes Aries so exciting and captivating to be around. Example. An Aries I know fell in love within a matter of weeks, and when she decided she was in love, she was all in. I remember watching her go through a whirlwind of emotions, and while some might have considered it rash, I realized that this was simply how Aries experiences love: big, bold, and full of energy. Trait number 12. Living life to the fullest. Aries lives life with a sense of urgency and intensity that few can match. They approach every day with the desire to experience as much as possible, whether it's traveling, taking on new challenges, or spending time with loved ones. For Aries, life is too short to be lived passively. Personal insight. I've always been amazed by my Aries friends' approach to life. They're always seeking the next adventure, the next challenge. I've never seen someone embrace life as fully as they do. Whether it's spontaneous trips or diving into new hobbies, they never waste a moment. It's inspiring to see someone so fully alive in the present. Trait number 11. Time is a precious resource. Aries places great value on time. For them, time is one of the few resources that cannot be regained once it's gone, so they approach it with respect. Aries dislikes inefficiency and is known for being punctual and focused on the task at hand. Wasting time or dealing with people who don't respect time can frustrate them deeply. Example. I once worked on a project with an Aries, and the first thing they did was set clear deadlines and expectations. They didn't tolerate delays or unnecessary meetings. It wasn't about being rigid. It was about maximizing the time and energy they had to achieve their goals. That drive for efficiency is a hallmark of Aries, and it pushes everyone around them to step up their game. Trait number 10. Curiosity and exploration. Aries is driven by a deep sense of curiosity. They are always eager to explore new ideas, cultures, and experiences. This trait makes them adventurous in both personal and professional spheres. Aries doesn't shy away from the unknown. They jump into it with both feet, eager to learn and grow along the way. Personal insight. I've had the pleasure of traveling with an Aries friend, and they always want to explore the hidden gems of every city we visit. Whether it's hiking to a secluded spot or seeking out local markets, their curiosity makes every trip an adventure. Their thirst for knowledge is contagious, and it makes exploring new places feel even more exciting. Trait number 9. Respect and humility in relationships. While Aries is a confident and powerful individual, They deeply value humility and respect in their relationships. They admire people who are genuine and who don't flaunt their accomplishments. Aries seeks out connections with those who are grounded and respectful, as they believe these qualities are essential for building trust and lasting relationships. Example: an Aries friend of mine once mentioned how important it was to surround herself with people who are both humble and creative. She dislikes arrogance and prefers individuals who are authentic and open-minded. This respect for others' personal journeys is what makes Aries such a loyal and trustworthy companion. Trait number 8. Courage and boldness. Courage is at the core of Aries' identity. They are not afraid to face the unknown, whether it's in love, career, or personal endeavors. Their boldness sets them apart from others. While many people hesitate in the face of fear, Aries dives in headfirst, ready to take on whatever challenges come their way. Example: during a particularly risky business venture, I saw an Aries colleague make bold decisions that most of us were too nervous to even consider. While others hesitated, Aries went ahead with their plan, demonstrating the true power of their courage. And you know what? It worked. Their bravery set the tone for the entire team, and we all followed suit. Trait number 7. Sincerity and authenticity. Sincerity and authenticity are deeply important to Aries. They despise deceit and hypocrisy and are known for being direct and honest in all their dealings. Aries value people who are true to themselves and others, and they expect the same level of honesty in return. Personal insight: I've learned that when Aries speaks, they do so with sincerity. They don't hide behind a facade, and they don't expect others to either. I remember having a difficult conversation with an Aries, and while it was hard to hear the truth, I respected the directness. For Aries, authenticity is a must, and that's what makes them such genuine and trustworthy people. Trait number 6. Contagious enthusiasm. Aries' enthusiasm is infectious. They can light up a room with their energy and positive attitude. This enthusiasm drives them to tackle every aspect of life with passion and determination. People are naturally drawn to Aries because of their upbeat energy and ability to inspire others to take action. Example: when I started a new project with an Aries, I had no idea how much their enthusiasm would impact the team. Their energy was contagious, and it encouraged all of us to bring our best selves to the table. Their passion didn't just motivate the team. It transformed the entire project into something we were all excited to be a part of. Trait number 5. Romance with passion and intensity. While Aries may not always be the most traditional romantics, their passion and intensity are what make them stand out in love. Aries doesn't do things halfway, and this applies to their romantic pursuits as well. When they fall in love, it's an all-encompassing experience that burns brightly. Example: an Aries I once dated was always quick to express their feelings in grand gestures, whether it was through passionate conversations or spontaneous acts of love. For them, love wasn't something to be whispered about. It was something to be shouted from the rooftops. While it may have seemed over the top to some, it was one of the things I loved most about them. Trait number 4. Respectful communication. Aries values respect in all interactions, especially when it comes to communication. They prefer direct, respectful communication and expect others to approach them with courtesy. Aries responds best when they feel respected, and they will distance themselves from people who fail to treat them with consideration. Personal insight: I've had a few moments where I accidentally overstepped boundaries with an Aries, and it didn't take long before I realized I needed to communicate with more respect. Aries values clarity and mutual respect, and once I understood this, our communication became much more harmonious. Trait number 3. Emotional connection and sexuality. Sex for Aries is not just about physical pleasure. It's about emotional connection. Aries loves to share intimacy with someone they trust, but they also enjoy exploring and experimenting. Their sexual experiences are often as much about emotional connection as they are about physical desire. Example: a close Aries friend of mine once told me that sex, for her, was about trust and connection. She didn't enjoy casual encounters unless there was a deep emotional bond with the other person. This highlighted the significance Aries places on intimacy, not just as a physical act, but as a way to strengthen emotional ties. Trait number 2. Direct communication and resolving conflict. Aries values open, direct communication, especially when it comes to resolving conflicts. They don't like beating around the bush or leaving issues unresolved. If there's a problem, Aries will address it head-on, and they expect the same from others. For Aries, constructive conflict resolution is essential to maintaining healthy relationships. Personal insight. An Aries friend of mine once faced a conflict at work, and instead of letting it drag on, she immediately addressed it with the people involved. It wasn't an easy conversation, but because she approached it directly, the issue was resolved quickly. That's the Aries way. No hiding, no avoiding, just dealing with it head-on. Trait number 1, pursuit of love with passion. Aries women, in particular, are known for their relentless pursuit of love. They dive into romantic relationships with full passion, often taking the initiative and pursuing their desires without hesitation. They aren't afraid of putting themselves out there and will do whatever it takes to win over the person they love. Example, I watched an Aries woman go after the person she liked, and it was one of the most admirable things I've seen. She didn't wait for him to make the first move. She made it clear that she was interested, and the relationship blossomed. Her boldness and intensity in love are what make Aries women so irresistible. Conclusion. Aries is truly one of the most dynamic and passionate signs of the zodiac. Whether it's in love, relationships, or career, they live life with intensity and dedication. Their courage, honesty, and resilience make them unstoppable. So, whether you're an Aries or someone close to them, remember to embrace the energy they bring to the world. Key takeaway. Aries teaches us to be bold, to take risks, and to love fiercely. Their unshakable belief in themselves and their ability to face life's challenges head-on is what makes them stand out. So, take a page from an Aries book. Be true to yourself, live with passion, and always strive to be the best version of you. If you enjoyed learning about the psychological traits of Aries, make sure to hit that like button and leave a comment below with your thoughts or any Aries traits you relate to. Don't forget to subscribe to the Path to Buddhist Wisdom for more videos on astrology, personal growth, and the mysteries of the zodiac. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.